It's Hudson and Aly, and we're very excited to be joined by a special guest today on RadioU Mornings. We have former Ohio State Buckeye running back, a legend in the building, Master Teague. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So blessed to be here.
Yeah, it's really cool that we get the chance to talk to you. Thanks for coming in. Coming up, you're going to be involved in an event with our band Remedy Drive that's actually going to be for Radio U Ohio. So we want to get some info on that. But first, we can't have you in here and not talk some football. So cards on the table, Master. Here's the deal. I'm a little bit of a Buckeye hater. I didn't grow up in Ohio. I'm not a Buckeyes fan. So here's how I want to ask this. You probably follow the team really closely. Coming up for the next season, what stands in their way from winning back-to-back championships? What can I root for and be like, this is realistic, this could hold them back?
Yeah, I'm not going to give you any ammunition that way. But it's just, I think they have a lot of momentum, and they just have to continue that momentum and not think just because it happened last year that it's just going to be handed to you this year. You got to do even more than what you did the year before. So it's a short-term memory kind of thing, especially with Buckeyes. You win something big, you do something big, and you celebrate it, of course, for a little bit of time. But then after that, it's time to get back to work, and it's time to say, all right, what we are is sometimes it's not like the past. Like what are you gonna do next? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. What are you gonna do next? You always gotta do even more the next time, or you're not always gonna be defined by what you did before, but what are you doing now? So it was awesome to see that, and it was great. And but what are you gonna do now? And that's kind of the mindset with them now. There's probably some things, of course, that hold you back. Like any team, But I know they got great coaching staff. I know they got a great mindset, and they're gonna do everything to make sure that they put themselves in the best position, I believe, to make that happen again. And I hope they do.
That's a good point. The human nature, even at if you're a big time athlete, I assume, I don't know from experience, but is that once you accomplish something big, you're like, all right, you can kind of lean back and appreciate it, but you got to push through that. I guess a challenge, or what will help them, but also a challenge, is that they have a lot of turnover on the team, right? So a lot of new guys that weren't there, or at least didn't play as much a role on the championship team, that are gonna have to step into big roles. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing that I wanted to ask you about, I was really inspired by the Buckeyes last season. I've been a lifelong Buckeye fan, so not a Buckeye hater over here like Hudson, but I loved to see the kind of the revivals that surrounded the team. It seemed like a lot of focus was on God, and you saw that all through the playoff, because every single time one of those players got a mic put in front of them, they mentioned that. And I loved that, because it showed that their priorities were in the right place. And so speak to that. How did you see that as a former player, kind of what their mindset was with the God side?
Yeah, that was powerful. It was encouraging to me, and it was a full circle moment for me, because, I played, of course, at Ohio State, and it definitely wasn't that prevalent then. I did my best to share my faith when I could, but to be able to see so many guys doing that this year was tremendous. And I saw the impact, especially being on the outside now, the impact that they really had in the community with the youth, even my own siblings, really seeing that and like, wow, it really impacts their faith. And it's one of those things where when God gives you, when you know who you belong to and where you come from, that God is the one that's put you in that position and not you. And he's giving you even the ability to work hard, to be great, to do well in what you do. And for them to just deflect that glory is powerful, because as we all know, especially people here in Ohio worship football, worship the Buckeyes, worship these athletes. And for them to look at this athlete that they worship, this team that they worship, and they see that, no, they're not going to give themselves the glory for that or take that, but they're going to deflect it to the Creator. That's very powerful, even for those especially that don't believe in that worship sports. Man, they look at these athletes and see how they represent the Lord. And so many people, more than we know, have probably come to the Lord just from one interview from Trayvon Henderson or G. Scott or Emeka or Will Howard, profession of faith. So it was definitely a blessing for me to witness, for sure.
Yeah. Now, even as a Buckeye hater, I had to cheer for that. That was amazing to see this past season. Yeah. We're talking to Master Teague, former Ohio State Buckeye running back. And here's what's interesting is that you are connected with a band we play here a lot on RadioU, a band we love, Remedy Drive. You're going to be involved in a show that they have coming up in Columbus that's all for a good cause, too. It's for Freedom Collective, which is works against human trafficking. So, Master Teague, tell us how you got involved with Remedy Drive and how you got involved in this event.
Yeah, so I think it was about a few months ago, this idea came up that we want to do this concert here at the church next door, which I work at. I do youth ministry there. It's been a blessing to be a part of that. And so we got this opportunity, and of course, we're not going to say no to that. It's an issue that's going on in our nation, in the world. It's very prevalent. It's right under our noses. Sexual exploitation of women, of children, even of men. And so we want to bring awareness to that and let people know what's going on and see and let them understand that they can be a part of the transformation in people's lives and the help that people get, And so Remedy Drive is a band that they've been around for a long time. Early 2010s, I think late 2000s, and they have some pretty big hits. Some people out there probably know a couple of them.
Yep.
I actually didn't know they had a song called All Along, and I've heard that since little. I remember that song. Yeah, I think that was before they really started honing in on the human trafficking side. But they really have a passion for bringing awareness to this and going to any community they can to help and partner with organizations that fight against that evil that's out there. And so they're partnering with the organization here in Columbus, Ohio called the Freedom Collective, as you mentioned. And Freedom Collective, I'm actually just so I don't misrepresent them, I got their website up. I'm just going to pretty much just say what they do.
Yeah.
And so the Freedom Collective, their mission, it says, our mission is to glorify God by bringing hope to victims of sexual exploitation, empowering them to live free, and ultimately abolish exploitation. The mission is possible because of you, right? Sometimes we don't feel like our impact is really that helpful to certain situations that are global, but it is. We all have a voice. We all have the ability to put forth and serve in this way and help people get out of this exploitation, get out of this evil. And so we want to be a part of that. The church next door, Ohio, is sad to say, even they have some statistics right here that I want to share. Ohio is ranked number 7 amongst states that receive the most calls to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Ranked number 7. And then particularly Columbus, Ohio is ranked number 9 amongst cities across the country.
Wow.
With these calls.
Yeah.
And to me, that's saying, okay, when I'm going to the grocery store, when I'm just out and about, I'm just minding my own business, I'm going about my day, I'm coming across somebody probably that's exploiting a child. You out there are coming across somebody probably that's exploiting a child. And you don't even know. So we want to see change, and as believers in Christ, we're called to help those that are in need, right? And speak for those that can't speak for themselves. And there's actually a scripture I want to share as well in regards to that. And that's Proverbs 3, verses 27 through 28. It says, do not withhold good from those to whom it's due when it is in your power to act. It's in our power to act. So why wouldn't we act? Why wouldn't you act when it's in your power?
Right.
And good is due to these people, right? It says, do not say to your neighbor, come back tomorrow and I'll give it to you, when you already have it with you. We already have things with us that we can give to fight back against this. Let's not wait till tomorrow. Let's not wait, let's do this now. And so it's been a privilege to work with Remedy Drive and get this rolling. It's my first time really kind of doing an event like this, so it's interesting to set it all up and be a part of it. But it's a blessing to be a part of it, just knowing that we're infusing and shining the light of the Lord in this situation, and we're praying, not just praying, but we're acting, right, using our hands and feet to fight back against this. So, yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's a huge issue, human trafficking, sexual exploitation. But I appreciate you standing up to it and doing what you can, and encouraging others too to get involved and not feel like it's something that's out of our control. So we're looking forward to the show coming up. That is coming up on Saturday, June 21st, so next week. And you can find the details with Remedy Drive, performing in Columbus, and it's all for Freedom Collective. RadioU.com/Ohio. Master Teague, thanks so much for joining us. It's been great talking with you. We really appreciate what you do.
No, thanks for having me. This is awesome. It's great. Appreciate you.